Ron Moshier standing by from the Utica Observer-Dispatch. A big time right now as we're heading through the end of January into February. Before you know it, it's playoff time. What's the picture look like right now, Ron?
Hey, Bill. Good morning. Hey, by the way, I have to get back to the Hooli. My wife and I have been a few times. It's a fun time, and the Great American Irish Festival is one of the best things this area puts on. In my opinion, we've been every year, every day since it started, and it's the last weekend in July, by the way. So it's a great time. It's a great time.
We'll be speaking with Colleen Martin on the event coming up. The Hooli, I believe, is this Sunday. So that's always
I think it's usually right before the Super Bowl.
A good sign that there's springtime around the corner. Another good sign, Ron, was the fact that it was like 51 and sunny over the weekend.
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, it was a great Saturday. Unfortunately, I had to go to work, but hey, Bill, I'll tell you. I know you're talking about basketball, but Central Valley Academy wrestlers won the Section 3 dual meet championship on Saturday, beating Fulton in the final 50-15, and it was 29-0 at one point. Wow. And that's over almighty, next to invincible Fulton for many years, a perennial large school power. So I dare say, Bill, and again, I played basketball and I've covered much more basketball than wrestling, but I can tell you, I dare say that this CBA wrestling team is the best team ever assembled in this area.
Wow. I got to tell you.
I mean, wrestler for wrestler.
Yeah. I
there's no holes. There's no holes.
In the fall, I spoke with General Chuck Maurer, who's a long time wrestling program. And Chuck, of course, works in school districts, but also his son is a coach, and he was a ref.
His son, right?
Yep. And Chuck told me, he said, if there's ever a time that you can get back out to see a wrestling match, none of my kids are involved anymore, but this would be the year to do it. He said, you are going to be amazed at this year's CVA team, and it's turning out to be true.
Oh, yeah, and, what Jeff Maurer and Bob Bush has been there forever, and, he's got his twin sons, I think, are only 8th graders. They're already great wrestlers, lightweights around 99, 106. That team, and the Cook family, Tanner Cook now, I think, has got one loss. He's like 45-1. Really could win a state title this year. He's come so close a few times. So I just think it's a great story, and it's a tough, grueling sport. Just in yesterday's OD, I did a big feature on the Holland Patton kid, Hunter Richard, going for a 3rd straight state title. I mean, we've got some great individuals and some great teams here. Year after year, let's face it, Adirondack's always good up in Boonville.
Yeah.
Holland Patton's been good in the past. We've had some state champions from, New Hartford. Geez, the head coach there, Dave Caruso, was a state champion himself. Yep. Brett Cook at Whitesboro. I'm glad that, again, I was not a wrestler, but I certainly appreciate what they do. As a phys ed major at Cortland State, I remember taking wrestling. It was like wrestling 101, and 6 minutes seems like an eternity, believe me. So
it is those 2-minute periods are you would have no idea unless you actually got down and did it. But calling this CVA team the best team ever assembled in the area, that's a big statement, and to knock off Fulton, if you really knew the sport. You'll realize that's just not just to knock them off, but to really
God, it was 50-15, and a couple of those matches. What is that? 12 out of 15 that CBA won, and a couple of the others they lost. Bob Bush told me that they were in those matches until the closing seconds. So I mean, it was almost a clean sweep. Yeah. So that's just incredible on a day when on a day when they had already beaten 3 other opponents, in a dual meet championship. So it's an outstanding achievement for them, putting Ilion on the map again.
All right, let's talk basketball. Bill has a question, by the way, if I can squeeze him in.
Okay.
It involves most points scored in a quarter. Bill, go ahead. What's your question?
Hello, Ron and Bill. Ron, a player for Tully scored 28 points the other day in one quarter. Could that be a Section 3 record, 28 points in one quarter?
I'm not sure, Bill, but I would think so. I saw that the young man's name's Phelps. I think it's Jason Phelps.
Yes.
Yeah, he scored 28 in one quarter. that was the night. From what I understand, and obviously I wasn't there, and it was a blowout. Whoever they played against that night, I'm not sure if it was Fabius Pompey or who it was, but I know he scored 28 in the first quarter, and they were feeding him because he was going for his 1,000th career point. I think he wound up with 45.
Wow.
You know, some of those records are a little skewed because I like when somebody scores 40 in a game that's actually a game. You know,
right.
He was obviously at home. I believe he was at home. I'm sure he was at home at Tully and going for his career point. So,
and this obviously was not one of those games. This, as you said, feeding him,
and that's taking nothing away from the kid. In fact, right after that, I retweeted that with a quote from myself that hey, don't be surprised if it's Cooperstown and Tully in the Class C Section 3 final, just like last year when I believe Cooperstown beat them by 2 points. So, and that would be two of the better players in all of Section 3. That would be Tyler Bertram at Cooperstown and the Phelps kid at Tully. So that would be a great matchup, and I won't be surprised if it comes down to that in Class C. You know, I should mention, too, you know, all along I've been saying Cooperstown in C and Madison in D.
Yeah.
It's not released yet. It's not officially released yet, but this week's state poll, the Class D team that was ranked number 1 out from the Rochester area out west, lost over the weekend, and Madison, I believe, is 13-0 now, and I'd be shocked if Madison didn't move up from number 2 to number 1 in the state when the poll comes out officially tomorrow morning. So, I mean, we'll have Madison at number 1, most likely, and Cooperstown still number 2 in the state in Class C. And those two teams, plus I'd throw in Notre Dame at the Class A level, have I think our area's best chance to go on in boys basketball. Girls basketball, I don't know if you noticed over the weekend, are one of our last, Stockbridge Valley's still unbeaten in girls, but they're on the fringe of our coverage. But closer to home, Little Falls was the other unbeaten team, and Waterville got revenge, beat them 50-40 on Saturday. And you know, Larry Stockwell's been around forever as Waterville girls basketball coach. I think that was something like his 485th career win.
Wow.
I think he's 3rd or 4th all time in Section 3 girls basketball history. So, and that's a very young Waterville team. I think they started only one senior. They've got a couple of great players inside, a couple 6-footers, Molly Williams and Emily Phillips, a great guard and Sophie Wittenbeck, a 3-point shooter and Elia Decker. I just think they can go a long ways, too, in Class C in girls basketball. So we've got a lot of great girls basketball teams at the Class C level. Yep. Should be fun come playoff time.
All right, which is not too far off, right? I mean, we're already moving into February next week.
Oh, yeah. Yep, we've got a couple more weeks. This is sort of a lean week because I believe it's Regents Week, so not a lot of big games, but, you know, I'll be concentrating on wrestling and, I can tell you, I'll give a teaser. There's big news coming in high school baseball as far as a rules change, a major rules change later this week. I think I'm doing it for Sunday's paper. So
really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Can I speculate? Is it innings?
Some people may not be for it, believe me.
I think it's innings.
Is it innings pitched? Or innings, period?
You're close. You're close.
A pitch count, maybe.
Pitch count.
Yeah.
Pitch count. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Trying to save players' arms.
And it's very interesting because so they're going to obviously there's already been a pitch count in place, hasn't there?
No.
Oh,
never.
there hasn't. Oh,
Right. There's never been a pitch count.
There's
There's been a limit on innings.
Innings pitched in a calendar week. Yes.
Right.
But as far as number of pitches, and I think some people think it's going to open up a can of worms because policing it is going to be difficult.
Yeah,
that's a great job.
It's going to be a challenge.
Policing is going to be difficult.
Me, I've seen some high school baseball scorekeepers. Not that they're dishonest by any means, but a lot of times they don't really pay attention to pitches. You know?
Well, and beyond that, Ron, how do you handle the? I mean, I dealt with this with my son, where he's playing for a travel team and he's playing for the high school team. So he might have pitched during the weekend, and then a game comes up on Thursday night. He's got to pitch again. There's really no way to keep track of that.
Oh, Bill, there are a lot of sidebars here. How about most high school teams? If if your top pitcher isn't pitching, where does he usually play? Shortstop,
Right.
which is a long throw. We've had and they get a lot of action. That's taxing the arm too. So
Well,
and I've seen high school pitchers, some kids big, 6'2", 200-pounders, in my opinion, can throw more pitches than a very slightly built sophomore, let's say.
well,
So,
and you mentioned shortstop. What about the catcher who pitches?
without a doubt. Hey,
Hey,
years ago, I wrote about a Proctor baseball team. I may never see it again, but their ace pitchers were also the catchers, so they flip-flop. On the day that Proctor won a state championship in Binghamton, very hot day, one of the pitchers pitched a complete game in the opener, and then flip-flop with the catcher.
Wow.
So,
all right, it's going to be interesting.
I think it was Sean Redmond and A.J. Bates. I'm sure it was.
Okay.
Those are two great Proctor baseball players from the past. And by the way, if my wife was here, Bill, she'd say, "Yeah, you remember that, but you can't keep track of our bank account." Well,
I'm with you, Ron. I get it. Ron Moshier, Utica OD, and you can read all about it in the Observer Dispatch. Ron, thanks so much.
hey, thanks, Bill. Take
We'll be
care.
looking for that baseball story coming up in the week.